One of the hardest choices for any gamer is deciding what new console to get. And the reason it's a hard choice is because, especially in our day and age, they're all kind of similar, but all have enough differences to where it's kind of hard to choose sometimes, especially when you have something like the PS4 and the Switch, two entirely different consoles, both with huge value propositions. So should you buy a Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, or PS4? Let's find out. All of these consoles are great. In fact, you'd be well off getting any of them because all of them are super awesome. They have a lot of value to them, and each one has enough unique things where no matter which one you get, you'll probably still end up being happy. The Xbox One S and PS4 Slim, which are the newest versions of those two consoles, as well as the Nintendo Switch, can all be found for under $300. So now is a very good, affordable time to jump in to the current generation of consoles if you haven't already, or maybe you just want to know about one of them. You want to know, should you buy a Nintendo Switch? Should you buy an Xbox One S? Should you buy a PS4? Whatever it is, all of them are great to jump into at this point. However, there are a few factors with each console that could make a big difference in your gaming life. So let's find out which one is right for you. First and foremost, you need to decide what matters most to you when it comes down to the gaming console you have. Do you want to play with your friends and family in multiplayer games? Do you need to play The Last of Us 2 or Halo 6 or Super Mario Odyssey? Or maybe you have an Xbox account with 10 years of achievements that you're not exactly ready to give up. Before buying a console, you should really decide what matters for you most and let that motivate what console you buy. Before getting into each console separately, I'm going to list a few things that I think are the most important to consider when buying a console. First, what do your friends and family have? The reason this is important is because if you want to play multiplayer games with anyone that you know, you need to have the same console as them. Because even while some companies are kind of trying to get the cross-platform thing going, it's not working so well, especially between Sony and Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo Switch. So if you really want to play multiplayer games with people you know, buy the console that those people have. It's that simple. Because let's say you're like, oh, I love Call of Duty. I want to play with all my friends. They all have Xboxes, but I'm thinking about a PS4. You buy a PS4, you're not playing with any of those people. So that is a big thing to consider is if one of your big things in buying a game console is playing with other people that you know or that have consoles already, buy the console they have. I don't think cross-platform play between the different consoles is coming very soon. Number 2 is, do you care about exclusives? That means, do you care about playing Uncharted, Ratchet and Clank, Last of Us, or that kind of stuff on PS4? Do you care about playing Gears of War or Halo on Microsoft? Do you care about playing Zelda, Mario Kart, Super Mario Odyssey, anything like that on the Nintendo Switch? If you're a big exclusive person, like you've played every Halo, you're a die-hard Halo player, don't get a PS4. Get an Xbox so you can play the next Halo. That's a thing to consider too, is if you are a huge fan of certain franchises, you're probably best going with the console those franchises are exclusives on. If you're not sure if something's an exclusive, you can easily look it up, say, is this game exclusive to a console, and it'll tell you whether or not it is. But like I said, if you're a huge fan of one of these things, make sure to get the console with that series on it, or try another series on another console and see if you like that. And if you do, maybe you'll be okay with that console. But for someone who's really stuck on exclusive, for instance, I really love Nintendo games and you can't play Nintendo games on any other console, Nintendo Switch is a no-brainer for me. The third thing to consider is, what have you done on that account on whatever console it is for the last few years? And what I mean by that is, if you have an Xbox account that you've purchased 200 games on your Xbox 360, you've been playing it for 10 years, you've got 100,000 gamer score, all of a sudden, if you switch over to PS4, all of that's gone. However, if you jump up to an Xbox One X or an Xbox One S, whatever you want, you can have all of your achievements still there. Almost all of the games are back compat, at least the main ones. Some of them are not back compatible. So most of them are though. I mean, I have 100 plus Xbox 360 games at this point that are backwards compatible that I bought. And so thinking about that too, are you ready to give up your account or at least not continue and go on and start fresh on a different console? For instance, like the Nintendo doesn't have achievements, but the Xbox One, you might have had achievements on Xbox 360 for so long and you want to continue those achievements on Xbox One. That's something to consider as well. Do you want your legacy of whatever console and account you've had to continue on? I know there's tons of people who don't even care about the account at all, don't care about achievements or gamer score or trophies on PlayStation or anything like that. And if you don't worry about this at all. But if you are, that's really something to sit down and consider. Are you ready to give up your account and start fresh on another console? The last thing is understanding the quality of life on each console. And what I mean by that is each console has unique values that other ones don't that make quality of life a bit better on that console. For instance, the Xbox One, one of its biggest things is backwards compatibility. It has a ton of games that if you've already bought them, they just download straight to your console. If you go to Best Buy, you can actually find games that look like they're in Xbox One boxes, but they're just backwards compatible versions of Xbox 360 games that you can put right into your Xbox. That's really cool. And so that's a huge thing. Maybe you missed out on the last generation, or you really want to play games that you bought a long time ago and you don't want to give it up. Plug it in your Xbox. Hey, you can download those games and still play them directly from where you were. And that is an amazing thing. Xbox also has Game Pass, where for just a short, I think it's $9.99 a month, you're able to get over 100 games at any time, instant access to them. You can download them, play them for free. And then if you ever want to buy them, every game is on discount. So you download Game Pass, you love one game, you're like, I really like this, you want to buy it so that if you ever stop using Game Pass, you can continue playing that game. It's at a discounted price. You have unlimited sales on those things, and that's really cool. And then, for instance, the PS4, way more exclusive than other consoles. They have an amazing lineup coming out. They have so many freaking games on their online store. It's insane how many games PS4 has. It's got the largest player base of this generation with over 60 million units sold, which means you're never ever gonna have any trouble finding an online game in some of the major games. And then obviously the Nintendo Switch, it's portable. You can take that thing wherever you want to go. You want to play Legend of Zelda while you're driving down the street? You want to play Legend of Zelda at work? You want to play Legend of Zelda with your friends? Whatever you want to do, you can take that thing anywhere. So thinking about the quality of life on each console, I would say really look into it, and maybe if you want, I can do an individual video on each console. Should you buy a PS4, should you buy an Xbox, and should you buy a Nintendo Switch? But they're all different, and if you're really trying to decide between one or two, maybe look up and see the things that are different between them and decide, you know what, I really want that backwards compatibility, or you know what, I really want the portability of the Switch, and decide based on that. So to break down the consoles a little bit more here at the end, the Xbox and the PS4 are pretty similar. They get most of the same cross-platform games, they play at about the same power, and with the Xbox One X and PS4 Pro, you also have a higher level option that aims at 4K, with the Xbox One X being stronger and performing better in most games, but for the most part, they're pretty on par. The thing that you're going to want to consider with an Xbox and a PS4 is what does your friends and family have, and also exclusives are a pretty big deal, especially with PS4 having way more exclusives at this point and just churning out those games. But also that both PS4 and Xbox One games can mainly be played on PC. There aren't a lot of straight just exclusive games to console anymore, except on PS4. Some of the PS4 games have never come to PC and a few of the Xbox ones, but Xbox is really aiming for play anywhere, where if you buy an Xbox game on your Xbox One, you can play it on your PC. So if you're wanting to go and you want to go somewhere and you want to pop out on your PC and play Cuphead, you can do that, and that's really cool. So they do have that as well. Both PS4 and Xbox One have trophies, which a Nintendo Switch does not, which is a plus for those two. I love achievements and trophies, and man, how is Nintendo not having those things yet? They need their kind of achievement system. Also, Xbox and PS4 both have a bigger online functionality. It's much easier to jump into chats and parties, and it's just a bit more, they're established, they have a bit more going for them online wise, they have a lot more of a large game library, because the Nintendo Switch is still a fledgling console. But overall, the Xbox One and the PS4 are not that different. It's mainly kind of come down to exclusives, the games that people have, the consoles people have that are around you that you want to play with. Backwards compatibility on the Xbox, which the PS4 doesn't have. It also doesn't have Game Pass. They both have games with gold and PlayStation Plus free games, where if you pay for the online service, you get free games every month. So basically, just those two are just going to come down to between those few things on which one fits you better. And all of that may have sounded like I'm ragging on the Nintendo Switch, and I'm not, because actually, I would say everyone should buy a Nintendo Switch over those other two consoles, because the Nintendo Switch is incredible. The only people I think that should buy the other consoles are ones like, for instance, if everyone you know has a PS4, get a PS4, you're gonna play with them. Or if you love power, if you love top of the line graphics and stuff like that, you should be getting a PC. But if you wanna get a console, you wanna get one of the other ones, because the Nintendo Switch is not keeping up top of the line tech-wise. However, the Nintendo Switch is my favorite console of all time. And the reason for that is the portability aspect is something I never knew I wanted, and now that I have, I never want to be without again. When I can pop in Skyrim and play it on my TV, and then be like, I gotta go to work and just take it and walk to work playing Skyrim. What? That's never a life I thought I could have, and it's here now. I can play all of these amazing games. They work really well. Yeah, they might be a bit downscaled, but it's not enough to where it really matters. And it might be in the future, and I'm sure they're gonna come out with a stronger, bigger Switch or whatever, or Switch XL or something that's gonna be a bit stronger, a bit better. But for right now, the Switch is amazing. Like, I've used every use case of it. I've played it single player. I've sat it down and had one person with a Joy-Con with another Joy-Con playing Mario Kart. I've had multiple controllers of us playing Mario Kart or games like that. And it's so cool that you actually use all these use cases. I just flew home from vacation with my wife and we put the Switch on the little table on the airplane and we both played Mario Kart. Like, it's so crazy what you can do with this, and you can't do that with an Xbox or a PS4. What are you gonna do? Take your Xbox and plug it into the non-existent TV, pull this big thing out in an airplane? Like, no, it's never gonna happen. But the Switch can do all of that for you. And so I just want to get every game I can on the Switch, unless, like, for instance, there's some amazing 4K games like Final Fantasy and Shadow of War and stuff that I got on my Xbox One X because I want to experience those beautiful graphics and because they're not on the Switch. But those games are not as good as Super Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild, which are some of the best games I've ever played. So yeah, I recommend the Switch to everyone. You should buy a Nintendo Switch. There's no should you buy a Nintendo Switch, because you should buy a Nintendo Switch. But again, it's up to you. Figure out what matters most to you with these consoles, because in the end, that's what matters most, is you get the most enjoyment and you buy what matters to you, not just because someone said so. I can tell you all day to buy the Nintendo Switch, but if one of those other reasons, like all your family has PS4 and you really want to play with your family, and then you buy a Switch and you can't play with anyone, you're not gonna have as much enjoyment. So figure out what matters to you, because don't let anybody tell you which console to get and just get it because someone else said so. Do those things, figure out like what matters to you with gaming, and then get what resonates with you the most. And I'm probably gonna make a video on the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, and should you get it. So if you're wondering about that, stay tuned on the channel to see if that video comes out. And hopefully this video has helped you come closer to a decision. I'll link each console down below. You can look at prices, you can look at different options, you can look through the listings on Amazon and other sites. So just make sure you figure out what matters most to you. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more that I do and get more recommendations and learn more about gaming, make sure to smash that subscribe button to join the community and see all the new videos that come out. And don't forget to give that like button some love. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's continue to create the greatest gaming community in the world. See you guys in the next video.